Good morning. I'm going to do another vlog just because I have some probably not very interesting things to say for most. I'm sure there's someone out there that enjoys the grumble. The grumble. So in the botanical garden in Taipei, Taiwan, opens at 5:30 a.m. Isn't that just brilliant? And there's so many things to do. I got up at like 5 a.m. and I've already seen like a temple, this garden, some disappointing red brick house, and the first disappointing thing. And God, this is lovely, this is. And then I'm going to go to an historic like guest house, it's called. It's like a kind of palace, essentially, like a big mansion that used to, I guess, at some point be a hotel and a residency for various diplomats, etc. And then thereafter there's a few other things, probably a photography gallery, etc. I think it's going to rain today, so I had planned on doing a all-day hike. That's why I got up at 5 a.m. And then I just thought, because there is a possibility that it's going to rain, and there's plenty of sunny days to come, so it seems like a bit of a waste to put all that effort in to then have a kind of misty atmosphere, especially when you're on altitude. You want to be able to see the city sights, etc. So I went to the temple, and pretty temple, totally worth going. I saw I want to say it's Buddhist. There was definitely a Buddha there, but it might be one of these hybrid religions. It could be Taoism. I don't know anything about Taoism, so that could be wrong. Or it could be some like folk religion, I'm not too sure. Which is still the prevailing religion in China, albeit Taiwan isn't exactly China. But what I was saying about the botanical garden, just quickly, just imagine in Europe if this was open at 5:30. Even if this wasn't open, it would be filled with crackheads who would have jumped over the railings at night. There'd be trash everywhere. Someone would get raped by an Afghan. And not specifically an Afghan, but that was a comical example, but you know what I mean. And this is open at 5:30. It's perfectly clean. There's already people up at 5 not cleaning the trash because there is none, but the leaves. That's how perfect the society is, that they have nothing left to clean, that they blow the leaves away, woodland. So it's an infinite task that never ends, just for the kind of the formality of it, the aesthetic, maintaining discipline, which is what we don't have in the West anymore because of mass migration. Another thing I was going to say is that this is a country that, I was speaking to someone in a bar the other day, hosted a couch surfing event, and everyone's so proud to be Taiwanese. People are proud of their heritage and their culture, and that's exactly what globalism is about, destroying. It's, removing that from the equation, liquidating any kind of the social fabric, the glue, the bind, and then you're left with just this odd job society that can be taken advantage of because there's no social cohesion. So when you come to Taiwan, you see exactly what a society should function like, and it's the polar opposite of the West. And it really does boil down to mass migration, and a lot of people don't really understand that because they don't travel. But the reason Europe is so destroyed and the West is so destroyed is because there's a clique of individuals. I like to call them Zionists. We can phrase them in any other way, but they are the culprits. No one on a systematic level ever destroys their own culture. It's always an outsider. So those that govern the realm within said states, which is the world. Taiwan's also governed by the same people. It's just they pick and choose where to essentially deconstruct first. So certain places can wait for that deconstruction process to take heed, just because it doesn't align to whatever agenda is being played out at the current. It's quite clear that the intent in modern society is to destroy the Western world. That's very clear. You see that with First World War, Second World War, this fake Fugazi so-called war in Russia and the Ukraine now. The aim is just to throw young men into the killing fields to create division within a ethnically identical culture, which is, Ukraine, Belarus, Russia, all Slavic countries are basically the same. If anyone comes along and says, we have different food, we have a different flag. No, you don't. It's just like saying that someone in Cornwall is different from someone in Gloucestershire, someone in Wales is different from someone in Scotland. Yes, there are differences, but ethnically there's more similarities there than, say, a Scotsman and someone from anywhere in Africa or Asia, etc. My point being that these societies like Taiwan, which is also an island, which helps, but the UK is an island too, There's so much social cohesion and so much bind. It just works. You have the time to clean the leaves off your front porch because you care about the image that you portray, because you care about your neighbours, because you have a common thread, you have a common touch. When you remove that commonality from the equation, if that's a word, then no one cares. You don't put the extra effort in with respect to all things, whether that's teaching in schools, whether that's cleaning the roadside, whether that's just being a dentist or anything. It no longer matters so much. Everything in Taiwan is pretty perfect aesthetically, at least. Of course, every culture is going to have their issues, but with respect to how functioning the society is, it's the highest grade. So that's what I was just pondering. And what else was I going to ponder? Oh yeah, so I went to this temple just now, which was very nice. Yeah, there was a Buddhist kind of ritual. But then I just thought, good God, I can't believe people believe in this still. It's the kind of hypocrisy of it, and there's nothing wrong with it. If people want to do these kinds of things, that they're welcome to do it. It's just the hypocrisy that's irritating. I think the hypocrisy can be a lie, and lying is dishonest. So by default, there are certain things that you shouldn't do. Now that's not with respect to the worship within the temples. It's actually with respect to everyone's wearing masks in the temple. They've even got like not ticket booths for entrance fees, but all kind of the formality of it, like the institutional, infrastructural kind of, the modern capitalist agenda has been inserted sizably and strongly into this place of worship. So really, it becomes you're worshipping the state in a way, because they affect how you display your kind of ritual practice. So if you can imagine, you go into this temple, it's very old, it's very beautiful, it's been perfectly restored as you'd expect, and then you have kind of the infrastructural agenda at play, where you have the formalities of almost like a train station, the ticket booths, the information kiosk, the defibrillator, all these kinds of things, the toilet block. And then you have all these people wearing masks. It's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. If you believe in the spiritual and the kind of essence of a God that governs all and doesn't align to any human discipline, human outlay, human mindset, it's beyond that. It is the human in essence. Then why would you strap a mask to your face? And I saw the craziest stuff. I want to give a demonstration, but I'm holding this, so I can't, even with one hand. But you have the pews like in churches where you kneel down and you pray to your deity. So every time someone knelt down, someone a worker would come along with a spray canister, like what you'd spray an orchid with, and it would be filled with some kind of disinfectant, some cleaning fluid or whatever. And then they would spray, but they wouldn't spray the pews themselves, as in clean the surface. They were just spraying it kind of 3 feet in the air, and again, it doesn't actually have an effect. It doesn't serve a purpose. The aim is just the ritual of it, and the ritual being to conform to the state syllabus. It's about showing, which is exactly what religion is, really, for the most part. Most people don't believe it. They do it because of the image that it portrays, to tell people and show people that they do have religiosity. They go to these places, they're part of the community. That's really all it means. And it's no different when you spray a bit of disinfectant on a pew without actually spraying it on the pew. You clearly don't believe in it enough to actually, get down on your knees and start wiping away because you think someone's knee jeans are going to spread bacteria. You're literally just spraying it to keep up the image because that's what the state commands. And then in addition to that, I saw the craziest thing. There's like a book. Imagine like I can't think of the word, but a little book that you'd have on a piano with all the music. And each symbol in this book, I assume, represented a deity or a verse, like a kind of chorus book or a prayer book, sorry. And I've never seen anything like it. Imagine like a 70-year-old lady who's probably taken like gram speed for breakfast. And then she's flicking through. She knows every page off by heart, and it seemed to be extensive. And then she would tap each image, and each page had probably 20 strips of 10 images at least. And then each image would be touched, and then there would be a quick kind of a prayer, a very quick prayer, like half a second. And this was undertaken consistently and constantly throughout the ritual, whereby I'm assuming nearly every, if not all, deities and verses were respect was shown to them, each and every one. So if you can imagine how many that would be, and each kind of sequence, each prayer was probably only a maximum of a second and a half, including the turning of the pages. I just thought it was phenomenal. And there was a bow to each and every one. So it's almost like watching someone ordinarily pray on fast forward on YouTube. You put it on like a ×5 or a ×6. Very amusing. Totally worth watching. I could have filmed it. I was in a perfect position, but I'm not disrespectful enough to film. Even taking a little picture of the temple in that process bothered me. So I only took a 10-second video of that. Not that particular example, but I mean the temple in general. So yeah, that's the gist thus far. And I think, yeah, I don't know where I'm going now. I'm going off to another place. Yes, the historic palace house. So that's the game plan. I was going to say something else, but I forgot what it was. So I'll leave it there.